How far would you go to choose the sex of your baby? Gender selection is extremely controversial, so much so it's banned in this country.
Hi guys, welcome back to another React. Today Joss and I are going to be talking about gender selection. Before we dive in, please can you like, subscribe and ring that notification bell.
How far would you go to choose the sex of your baby? For Jodie and Andrew McMahon, the proud parents of 7 sons, the answer was halfway around the world. Earlier this year, I joined the McMahon tribe on their epic quest for a baby girl. The method they used, called gender selection, is extremely controversial, so much so it's banned in this country. But 9 months on, it's hard to argue with the results.
Okay, so this is little Evie. Oh, hello, little Evie.
Just 6 days old, little Evie has no idea what her parents, Jodie and Andrew McMahon, had to do to get her, their second daughter after 7 sons.
Big trip home from America. And now you've landed in a house full of boys. And 1 girl.
Evie's is a remarkable story of love, persistence and science. We first met Jodie and Andrew at the start of the year, along with their small army of men at home in Tumut, New South Wales. But as this army has grown with each new boy, so did Jodie's and Andrew's desperation for a girl.
When I found out I was having another boy, I was really upset, really upset.
Did you expect to feel that way?
No.
Andrew, were you disappointed at all?
Not at all, no. They're all top kids.
Yeah, they are really top kids.
I wouldn't put any of them back.
Then, 2 years ago, Jodie and Andrew decided to do all they could to guarantee a girl. So they turned to a controversial procedure known as gender selection, banned in Australia but readily available in California. Using Jodie's eggs and Andrew's sperm, 2 female embryos were created. One was stored on ice, the other transferred into Jodie's womb.
Oh, like you did the other one.
So why is it that some countries allow gender selection and some don't?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
Yeah, no idea, but we obviously are quite familiar with this process, and I think probably a discussion around, is it something that should be done? Is it something that, if it's available, and particularly even though it's not, sort of available in their country, they've gone to great lengths to go and.
This is clearly a loving family that wow, hats off to them that they've got a house full of boys, 7 boys.
God, yeah.
Goodness me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that age-old argument about whether gender selection should be allowed or shouldn't, and that there's many arguments over the years of that topic, particularly in countries where having a particular sex is really important to those families, particularly if there's like religious or cultural beliefs around having a boy or having a girl is more important to that family status.
Yeah,
could be particularly a potentially dangerous scenario to allow gender selection in those particular places. I'm not sure that it's just an opinion, but it's a really difficult one, and one that we need to be really, really conscious and aware of. And as they quite rightly said, they're from Australia, but they had to travel all the way to the US in order to even to do this. But then how accepted is it to bring back their child knowing that gender selection has taken place in a country where it's ruled out?
But she obviously really wanted a girl. She said that the last boy, she was
feels
upset
it,
and just So I can see that many boys and really wanting a girl if the option was out there.
Why wouldn't you try it?
Why wouldn't you? That's the argument, isn't it? It's if it's safe and
and if they've got capacity to have another it's not just about having a girl, is it? It's having another child in a family of already 7 children. Wow.
The result was their first daughter, Addison, born last year.
It was just so different. It was just a dream come true, like, and it was just, I just had to keep pinching myself that it had happened, really, I guess.
But with a frozen embryo left behind in California, the McMahon family wasn't complete. Do you think of this embryo as an embryo?
No, not really. Think of it as a sister. I call it a frosty, though, because she's on ice.
Everyone out.
So in February, the whole family went back to Los Angeles to get Frosty. With the help of fertility specialist, Dr. Daniel Potter.
This is Frosty's home. Oh, and she's at the tip of this tube right here. Part of the reason for me being here is to help people connect with their destiny.
You're the dream maker.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I'm more of the facilitator. I mean, I think Jodi's the dream maker. She's the one who flew out to the United States and went through this whole crazy, complicated process.
It only takes a moment for the promise of life as Dr. Potter transfers the leftover embryo into Jodi.
So Frosty's in, that little dot. I'm going to hold the catheter still for just a moment.
Yeah.
I wonder, a big question here, I wonder what they would have done if that embryo hadn't taken.
Yeah.
And they went back for the second embryo transfer, and again it didn't take. So she still hasn't got a take-home baby girl.
Yeah, she
Have carried on? You know, how far do you keep going to get that dream that she alludes to there?
Yeah, she seemed to be quite dead set that that's what she wanted to go.
Yeah. She's very lucky. She's very
Yes.
fertile. She's obviously very lucky that she
Yeah.
created the embryos that, number one, were female. What if she created
Yes.
embryos that were all male?
Yeah.
How would she have felt? And would she have left those on ice, her frosties, if they were male embryos?
Yeah.
I wonder, would she have transferred them? So, yeah.
But even seeing that
Question.
again, and I know it's something we see and you see all the time, just the process is still mind blowing that this can happen.
I know,
It's incredible.
It certainly is.
Absolutely incredible.
9 months later, and here she is, little Evie McMahon. What sort of reaction have you had from people after they saw our first story?
Oh, that we're selfish and that IVF isn't meant for that purpose. But like technology allows you to do it, and it's not like I jumped in line and pushed others out of the road.
And what about the people who support you? What did they say?
Oh, they just think it's excellent. Like older people have said, oh, I had 5 boys or 5 girls and I would have used it if the technology was there in my day.
Hey, little Bubba.
Of course, none of it matters now.
Can you believe it? The last time I saw you, you were just a little test tube baby. Stored in a laboratory.
Yeah, in a freezer.
In a freezer. Can you get your head around that?
Oh, it's just, I don't know, no, not really.
Evie McMahon is a healthy baby girl, certainly not wanting for attention.
Kisses.
She's sweet, isn't she? Do you think she likes living in this house with so many boys?
Yeah.
Do you, Evie?
What did she say?
She said yes.
And the brothers are so smitten with their little sisters, Addison and Evie, that they just want many more like them.
Because too many boys.
There are too many boys in this house.
We need to get equal with the girls.
Do you reckon your mum and dad...
Can you imagine them keep going? Those set match up to the 7 boys. I mean, this family are quite unique and quite fortunate. They obviously had the funds to travel to California and create their embryos in the first place, afford to have the extra testing, the PGTA testing that would have been needed to identify and gender those embryos for them. That's a big feat in itself, and it's not available to everyone that potentially could be in this type of scenario where they've had one set of gendered children and long for or yearn for the other gender.
But that to me, they're happy, they're healthy, that family is just, maybe complete. They look, they just look incredible. It's just such a heartwarming
I mean, she alluded to that they had lots of hatred out there. It's nobody else's business, really, is it? And if they are in a financial and stable position in order to be able to do that and give a home to 2 more children, that in itself is an incredible feat, isn't it? It's not just...
Look how happy the big brothers are.
So it's not...
if it's completed their family and they are... you know.
I think there's an argument here that this is a lovely story with a really beautiful ending, but there are horrific stories of gender selection in the wrong setting, in the wrong place for the wrong reasons. And there's the argument that politicians and medical personnel all have discussed over the years, because this is available to us. She alluded to that. You know, science and technology within fertility is incredible now, and what we can do. But it has that manipulation taken us that step too far, that we're now creating this elite race of one particular gender over another. You know, are we going to, if we all decide that a male gendered child is going to be superior to a female, are we then ostracizing the female population? And are we in danger of creating a one gendered population?
Yeah, hopefully that won't happen.
And then, you know, but then you think about what science can do, and the factories that potentially could have uteruses, and you know, all of these things that just takes on to another whole discussion, Joss, and not for today. But you know, it opens up a whole can of worms. And it's always my thought with my medical head on that says, just because we can, should we? And there is always an argument that yes, we should, with careful, thoughtful consideration in the right settings. Absolutely. And I don't see anything wrong with what this family has done.
I just see that happy
you know, you know, and all that lovely woolly bit. Yeah, let's see what they finish off.
Would agree with that?
No.
So when's the next trip to California?
There won't be another one. It'll be holiday only and no children, no.
So that's it? No more babies?
No more babies. No, we'll book Andrew in.
Andrew, what do you reckon?
I just get told.
So, as we know, there are many places in the world where gender selection is not legally allowed, the UK being one of those. So be really mindful when you embark on a fertility program, if you're looking for gender selection, that it would not be allowed to do so in the UK. So the what governs fertility practice within the UK is the HFE Act, which is the Human Fertilisation and Embryology Act, came about in 1990 to manage and support and control the use of gametes and how they're utilised within the UK. And although the Act is quite, there's been several amendments to the Act, but it is still one that governs practice within the UK, that allows licensed clinics to be able to create embryos within their licensed settings. But there are restrictions on what you can and can't do with those gametes and resulting embryos.
Do you think that will change? Do you think that will be challenged in the future? So that will change?
I think it's challenged all the time. And I think that there is always a case, particularly if you have certain conditions that are male or female orientated, then you can bring that case to your registered clinic, who can then apply on your behalf to the HFEA for circumstances around that. So if you wanted to avoid a certain male condition in your offspring, then there are ways that you can do that through that. But in general, you can't gender select your child.
Do you think
through your
embryos would be for it or against it? What's the general consensus?
I think there'll be some mixed opinions. Certainly not across the board. I think with where we work in the UK, that we've been born and grown with a regulatory process that supports what we do in the UK, and it is incredible what we do in the UK, and it's a very safe way of nurturing and creating and procuring gametes and embryos in the safest way possible. But that's not to say that if you wanted to do gender selection, that you could go abroad and bring a baby home from that process. That would be feasible to do so. But gender selection, predominantly, you cannot have your embryos tested and know the gender of that embryo. So we've touched on a very controversial subject today, Joss and I know that there are going to be many different opinions on what that might mean to you personally, or to you within the area that you work in or reside in, etc. So please be considerate, please be kind, please be respectful of the discussion that we've had today. And remember that those opinions were Joss and I's alone today. They're not come from any resource that isn't ours. So please remember, be kind. We hope you enjoyed this video, and please remember to like, subscribe and ring that notification bell.